What's up, everyone? Beast Mode back here with another video. So today we're going to review the first and second place decks from BCS number 9, which took place on Saturday evening. It's a single elimination tournament, 5 rounds of play, and then the first and second place winners are going to be invited for the end of the year tournament, the BCS Championship. So here we have a Diva Hero deck. Unfortunately, I had to stream a little bit later, and when I hopped onto the stream, I actually started watching Luck Extreme. Many of you know him in the Edison community, James Ark. Kind of hopped into his match first, and unfortunately, a lot of the games were just taking a long time. And what happens is, in these tournaments, we kind of just let players play ahead because we're trying to get the tournament done in a reasonable time, 2 or 3 hours, really. And Ronnie was just winning quickly, and some of the other matches were taking a while. So at that point, Ronnie was waiting in the finals while we were kind of catching up. So most of the stream was actually watching the first place deck. So we didn't get to see a lot of this on stream. We did get to see the finals match. I did go to game 3, so this deck is very competitive. It's actually really different compared to regular Diva Hero. Excuse me. A lot of tech cards here. I really can't comment on the way the deck typically is because I don't really play it, but a true hero is pretty much the main Diva Hero player at this point. So most of the people playing decks are using some type of variant of that. But this is much different here. We have the kind of the tech Chaos Sorcerer. I don't really see that often because they're playing double Raikou, which is interesting. You see double Hamster, a Junk Synchron teched in here. There's a lot of cool tech. And what I find really funny is that this deck here just plays one trap. And you will see in the first place deck why I find this to be pretty funny. But just a Destiny draw, like how long has it been since we've seen one of those? So this is really, really cool. Just a lot of cool tech cards, Plasma, Raikous, Hamsters, Junk Synchron, DD Warrior Lady there. I don't know how well this deck really works, but he was able to make it to the finals. So I'm guessing it works pretty well. Sideboard here, interesting. Triple Dyna, that's a lot. MST in the sideboard because they don't main it. They don't even care about Royal Oppression, it seems like. But they do have additional outs. You have to think. They have double Raikou. They have triple Kaya. So there's definitely ways to out the Royal Oppression. But Royal Oppression is a difficult card for this deck to deal with typically because the deck is so explosive. The normal, quote-unquote, normal build. But triple Super Poly, I'm guessing this is more for the Hero matchup because Hero Beat is just everywhere right now. It's probably the best deck right now just because it's so popular. It's everywhere. It's winning. It's topping. Black Wings, Frogs, really all prominent decks right now. Double Decree. Unfortunately, this would likely counter the first place deck, but I'm not sure if they even got it going. And that's kind of the thing too. You always have this plan that you're going to side deck in Royal Decree against these trap heavy decks, and you don't see it, or when you do see it, they have a Dust or an MST to chain to it, and it doesn't do anything. So extra deck, pretty standard here. But this deck is pretty cool, so shout out to Ronnie D. Look forward to seeing them play in the championship that we'll be having later on. And our first place deck, Luck Extreme, aka James Ark. Many of you guys know him in the Edison GOAT community. Great player, plays a variety of decks well at a high level. Pioneered a few decks, definitely. So this here is Offering Zombies, essentially, is what I'm going to call it. Which was a cool idea, honestly. I haven't really tested it much, but it kind of helps solve some of the problem that zombies have, which is getting 2 monsters on the field. So that's kind of what the recruiters do typically, right? You hope that your opponent attacks into a Pyramid Turtle, you end on a Goblin Zombie, then you summon Diva and you make your plays. But people are getting very smart now. They see a Pyramid Turtle, they see a Mystic Tomato, they crash once, they attack it, and then they don't attack any further. Or if they see it face up on the field, they don't attack at all. So he is trying to solve the problem here with Ultimate Offering. It also plays well into Monarch because of the fact that you don't have to commit anything to the board, which is one of the tricks of playing against Monarchs. You don't have to do anything because they can't. If you don't play anything, they can't play Monarchs really. So you can kind of just play Ultimate Offering, and you're able to really make explosive plays without them just constantly monarching, Kaius and Ryza away your recruiters. You can kind of just play you can play on their turn, you can play on your turn. So it all opens up a lot of opportunities as well. And Illblood with Ultimate Offering is pretty bananas. I know a lot of people don't like Illblood. It's the first card that gets cut. Myself, I go back and forth on it. It's one of my favorite cards, so it often finds itself back into my deck. But this really helps with the Illblood because you can tribute. You can pay 500 normal summon, and Illblood actually becomes a pretty big weapon in this deck. So the legacy, I haven't, I'm not too sure what the idea behind this is. It's more of just bait Raikos, bait MSTs, which is probably what the only real reason why they're there for. I guess you play a 38 card deck too. No Gores is a problem. Once people really figure that out, you can't really play it with double Ultimate Offering. But no Gores, I understand the obvious reason because you can't play Gores. But number two is Ultimate Offering acts as like a pseudo Gores because you can play monsters on your opponent's battle phase. So the second they try to go for game, you can just pay 500 instead of Mystic Tomato. But the problem is if they know that you're not on Gores, which is likely going to be pretty relevant once you flip an Ultimate Offering, they can bounce the Ultimate Offering with a Brio in main phase because you cannot use this in your opponent's main phase, only yours. You can only use it in your opponent's battle phase. So there's definitely ways to play around this. Again, I don't know if this is the like world-breaking meta shift that we're looking for, but I do think it's a really cool idea, and I plan to test it a little bit more. So otherwise here, pretty standard zombies for the most part. One Book of Life. You don't need as many Book of Life if you have Ultimate Offering, so that makes sense. A lot of traps. So I was saying beforehand, the second place deck had 1 trap. This deck has 17 traps. Again, some of these could be cut down right now. You could probably just instantly cut double Legacy if you weren't feeling it or whatever. Triple D Prison I feel is really good right now. I played recently in Philadelphia and won a mat in the side event there. I had Triple D Prison. It felt very good. I just think it's probably, I don't think you necessarily need to have 3, but probably 2 is probably the right number. But sideboard here, interesting. No DD Crow, no Cyber Dragon. Not fearing any of those decks. Cyber Dragon is one of those cards that like you think about the machine matchup, but I think Cyber Dragon is just better against like Glads and Hero Beat. The machine deck's really not all that scary anymore. I think people have kind of gotten off of it. But anyway, Nobleman is another card that is getting extremely popular. But the problem is everybody knows it's popular now. So games 2 and 3, if you're playing zombies, you just don't set anything. So against like obviously value decks where they have to set hamsters and Raikos, they don't have that choice. But against recruiter decks like fairies and zombies, this card doesn't do as much if you're playing against good players. Just FYI, before everybody goes and puts 3 copies in their side deck and expects to Nobleman cross out, my Pyramid Turtle, it's probably not going to happen. Triple Dust against Blackwings. Mind Crush is really good right now too. So much Hero Beat running around. They play E-Calls, they play Rhoda, they try to attack, and then they have an Honest. You can just call it before they get to damage step. Triple Rug for Monarch, I would guess. Road for an extra Blackwing protection, essentially. And Burial for games 2 and 3 because they're side decking in DD Crows. So interesting build here. The extra deck is actually a little bit different here. Obviously no Chimera Tech, but the Flamevell Euquaris, I can't even say the name. I don't even know what this is, but I know this is the one that tramples. The problem I see here is that there's no Mistworm. And this deck is able to make Mistworm rather easily, especially if you have a return play. It doesn't come up often. Maybe he felt that this comes up more frequent, but I've also in the past thought about cutting Mistworm, and then the second you cut it, you're like in a tournament and you can make a crazy 9-star play. So an Armory Arm is kind of cool too because you can occasionally do a Armory Colossal OTK, but this deck doesn't play Raikos. So the only way that's pretty much happening is if you mind control something. So even this here is probably not necessary. But anyway, these were the top 2 decks of our recent tournament, 36 players. If you guys want to play in these tournaments, we will be hosting more of them again. We kind of took a break because of War League was taking off, but that's kind of up and running now, so I plan to do more of these tournaments. Championship's probably going to be sometime October, November. I'm going to be gathering some prize support for that. And also, I am flying out rather soon because in-person RBET is this Saturday. E3's Yu-Gi-Oh channel will be streaming it, so check it out live there. I plan to go. I plan to see, meet a lot of players, and I want to just have a good time. And I'm going to bring some cards for people to sign. I'll sign any cards if you guys have them, so I hope to do well. Hopefully I make it on stream. And again, Edison War League free agency opens up, so it's actually open now. So if you guys want to get in and try to join a team, join the Beast Mode Discord server, which is also the Edison War League server. And with that being said, I'll see you all on the next one.